Okay, so this comedian and his lovely wife have had a successful marriage of 18 plus years. However, all that time together has probably made them a little jaded, and here's why we say that.
Well, the last wedding we went to, we were giggling during the vows. We couldn't take it seriously. We didn't, because we know that's not a marriage, right? That's a wedding. Those are different things, right? Like a marriage is tomorrow when they get to the airport and she goes, I forgot my passport. Now you're married. That's the ceremony right there. Today, till death do us part. Tomorrow, I'm going to Mexico alone. You had one job.
Well, our next guest has more than one job. He's a husband, a father, a superb stand-up comedian who will be taking the stage at Union Hall tomorrow night, when we can also now refer to him as an author, because he wrote a book that you're looking at right there. It's titled How to Be Married to Melissa, and joining us in studio, in person, is Melissa's husband himself, Mr. Dustin Nickerson!
Oh my God. I feel like I have to clap for myself.
Yeah.
That was so good. That was
for
incredible.
yourself.
Thank you. Good night.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was incredible.
Was it?
What an introduction.
Do you need me at Union Hall tomorrow to intro you?
Yes.
Or do you have someone already?
No, I need you to introduce me into rooms.
Really? I will do that.
When I get to anywhere I go, I want that presence with a trumpet, ideally.
I can do trumpets. I can do whatever. Like, I'm a walking megaphone.
Oh, I feel amazing.
You
right
do?
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad because I love you and all the work that you've done. But I'm mad at you because if you had told me, I would have not shaved this morning so we can match.
Well, thank you. That's very, it's a good host that you don't want to upstage your guests.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like we should match because sometimes we see you without the...
I think if you would have had the mustache, nobody would have been able to tell us apart. Everybody would be
That's
like,
why
who's I don't know. I can't tell them apart.
Listen, Dustin, that's why I wanted to have it on. But here's, you have the most interesting life, I feel. Like, you shock me because I'm going to get to the marriage thing, being married since 19, but you were also a youth pastor.
I was a youth
pastor. Should
pastor.
we pray first?
Yes, please. Everybody,
Join hands.
gather hands.
Okay.
Does we have some oils? I don't know where you land on that. Yeah, once upon a time, I was that. I was very bad at it because I don't like teenagers, and you should like them if you're going to be their youth pastor.
Exactly. But here we are. But maybe they were a good practice to have an audience?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that entirely. I will say that if you have done any interaction or speaking with like a middle schooler, then no crowd will scare you. I'm not scared of like drunk hecklers. I was like, oh, I've dealt with apathetic middle schoolers. I can handle a drunk. Someone who's not in the height of puberty, somebody who's like doesn't even, like when you look at like middle schoolers when they're not, like I remember looking out and I'm like, you guys, what do you look like a baby with a mustache. You don't even have like a place in society. So I'll take a drunk heckler at 1 a.m. any day of the week.
And we show you've had your like a number of them because you are on the road. You do about 300 shows a year.
Yeah.
And if we had to put that into every day, to have a show every day, it's like 365 days a year. So you have 65 days off, which you're not technically off because you have the podcast.
Right.
And now you have the book.
Right. Yeah, you do a little less than 300 days because you'll do multiple shows a night. Like here in New York, I'm doing 5 or 6 while I'm here. But it's a lot, and I don't. I look at the schedule and I was like, I don't know how I wrote a marriage book because you look at that schedule like, oh, you're never there with your wife. But I think that's the point of this marriage book is it's not about general marriage advice. It's just about one marriage. It's about like, hey, this is how we make it work. So people will go like, oh, I could never do that. And you're like, you're right. You couldn't. Yeah. You couldn't be married to her. You couldn't be married to me, or vice versa. We've got our own little things and ways that our life works here.
That shows you're like much wiser than the normal person because 19. Oh, there you are. Look at you, baby Dustin.
God. Yeah.
But so you get married at 19. 18 plus years later, you're still at it. So I feel like getting married at 19 makes you quite the expert on this topic. So whose idea was this book? So I can give them a high five.
Me.
Oh,
up
there
top.
you go.
Yeah.
Up top. So what was Melissa's reaction before you wrote the book, when it was just an idea, and now that she's seen the book, hard copy in her hand?
Okay, so Melissa was the president of the book, and that she had veto power.
Okay.
Anything that she said, nope, that comes out. That's not in the book. That's a much better book, by the way. So that's going to be floating around somewhere. Maybe we'll do a director's cut in a couple years or something like that. I think she was excited. I think that we were you know, it was the book happened in the height of the pandemic when my job was made illegal. We were performing for cars and in backyards and just on rooftops trying to get any work that we can. And I had the opportunity to do this, and I said, could I put you on the cover of a book? And she said, yes.
Of course she said yes. As she should.
She's lovely. She's
As
very
she
lovely,
should.
yeah.
And what I think about this book is, like, you know, another comedian that did a really successful relationship book, Steve Harvey. Mm-hmm. Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man.
You know, when people, Steve Harvey, Dustin Nickerson, 1, 2.
No, but I'm telling you, look how that became a movie.
That's true.
I'm just here to help you, Dustin. We're like this.
Let's pray.
Listen, let's pray over this. I'm going to grow my mustache. I can do that in like 2 seconds. No, people, you're laughing, but it's true. In 2 seconds, it will be like a full-on goatee we're talking about. And I'm so happy that I got to meet you. I'm so happy that we get to see you tomorrow night.
Yes.
Union Hall.
Union Hall in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, everyone. And you get the book, and your podcast is called?
Don't Make Me Come Back There.
No, but we'll make you come back here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we?
Yes.
Okay, you
please
better
do.
come back,
What
or
a
I know where to
segue.
find you. I know, right?
Oh my God.
Not overwhelming at all to be in your presence.
What a
'cause
pro.
His stand-up special is also called Overwhelmed. You can find it on Amazon. It's also on YouTube right now if you want to check it out. Okay, tomorrow night is the night, August 10th. Mark that on your calendar. He will be taking the stage 7:30 p.m. Union Hall. And don't forget that his book, you see right there, How to Be Married to Melissa, is out now. Loving it.
What a pro.